Okay, congratulations on the new record.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, you happy with it?
Yeah, really happy with it. Yeah, we did everything that we wanted to do, and I think achieved everything that we wanted to do with it. It just worked out really well.
Tell us a bit about the recording progress of it, or the process that was used. Yeah.
Well, when our band Sea Stories broke up, we decided that Penny and I had a bunch of songs that wanted a little different sort of treatment. So, and we were sick of recording studios. So what we did was take some 8-track gear to this guy Tim Cole's place, who was in Not Drowning Waving and used to do live sound for them and worked on a lot of their records and stuff. And he was really interested in that kind of process. And we took it to Wombat State Forest, where he's got a house, and just when we recorded drums, we recorded them in the neighbour's house and stuff in the basement, and just tried to make it really, the whole thing kind of low key and sort of just get a real feel, real sort of low rent kind of feel, and because that was the nature of a lot of the songs, so. And it worked out really well.
Pardon my ignorance, geography is not my best point. Where exactly is that?
It's on the way up to Ballarat, actually, near Dalesford, around the Dalesford Blackwood area.
It was beautiful. It was this time last year, actually, so it was like
cold.
But it was great. You know, we just sort of, there wasn't anything else to distract us. You certainly didn't want to be outside, so and recorded.
Warm up the guitar fingers every morning.
Yeah, that general area is pretty freezing.
Yeah,
it's just a really pleasant place.
It did, and where Tim's living too, sort of on top of a hill, just surrounded by trees, and there's a lot of sort of windows right around the main room. And at night, you could just turn some floodlights on, and you're there in the middle of all the trees. You can't get much closer to nature, without actually camping out on the dirt.
Yeah, it was pretty perfect, really. It was as I said, we were like that's what we were there to do, and it wasn't like being in a normal recording studio where you're just getting stressed out watching the clock, because every hour is worth so many $100, so it was just perfect for us.
So apart from like chopping wood in the mornings or cooking meals, which is all sort of part of the ritual of it, it was just living and breathing. It was good.
Did you ever contemplate recording that way with Sea Stories?
No, we didn't really. I mean, we just needed, because it was like a full band thing, we always needed the 24 track.
Yeah.
I think there's room for everyone and everyone's sort of personalities either in a small house.
True.
No, it was perfect for what we wanted to do, but I don't think it wouldn't have been right for Sea Stories. The way we were heading was more away from that kind of, sort of a little bit sort of, heavier or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was sort of the general way that Sea Stories was heading, but this band sort of like we just decided to like really strip it down and push it the other way into kind of Moodsville.
And all self-financed?
Yeah, totally.
By choice, or?
If somebody had wanted to pay for something, we probably would have been very interested in any offers they had to make. But we wanted to do exactly what we wanted to do. So I mean, and to do that, you've got to pay for it yourself. I mean, so that you're not beholden to anybody.
We kind of chose not to sort of shop around demos. We didn't feel that it was time for us to go and sort of find a record label to sign us to any sort of long-term deal, because we just weren't really sure what we wanted to do next. We just knew we had an album's worth of material to do. And it was just what we wanted to do it then and there. We didn't want to wait for a few months trying to get someone, interested in it as a commercial venture. And of course, then you're answerable to those people as well, and you've got obligations and the pressure of that. Well, it's their money,
Yeah.
We just it was just basically for ourselves.
This way, you're in control.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, what period of time do the songs cover? Were any of them originally intended for Sea Stories?
Yeah, some of them were even played by Sea Stories, like the track you just played before.
Yeah.
It was Sea Stories played it for 18 months or something. And there are other songs as well. There are older songs that Sea Stories never played. There were ones that were, sort of written just around the time. Those songs were from a period of about 4 or 5 years, I guess.
There's actually one there you played for us last time you were here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was wondering, you remember, yeah.
Didn't even have a title then, I think. You'd just written it.
Yeah, that's right, I had. And it wound up on there.
There you go. Well, you got your guitars there.
Yeah.
Why not bash one out for us?
Okay, hopefully all the sounds will mesh.
Yeah, we'll try and get this balanced properly. This is the first song on the record. It's called Most Days. you stretched out on the floor with green eyes staring at the rain. Not everyone you like will give their heart to you. Lots of people can cause you pain. Nothing ever really turns out just the way you planned it. Most days don't even matter. Sometimes the smallest things can turn into the greatest. But most days don't even matter. Someone that you know can force their will on you and cheapen everything that you say. But I will always love you even when you cry. I'll leave you sleeping where you lay. Nothing ever really turns out just the way you planned it. Most days don't even matter. Sometimes the smallest things will they turn into the greatest. But most days don't even matter.
Lovely.
That's the best. We find that's the easiest place to sing is when we don't have to hear ourselves like at shows. We always have trouble, but when we can just sing the two of us, it always seems to work really well. So we
Right.
get that false impression that we're actually really good singers, and then we get
Get a microphone in front of us. And
a rude awakening
huge
when we have to do a
PA.
show. Good. Thanks.
Yeah, it fooled us. What's the songwriting process with you two? How does it work?
It's usually I come up with the sort of basic song. Sometimes Penny does, but it's mainly, sort of 8 or 9 times out of 10 it's me. And then I take it to Penny and we figure out exactly what she's going to play, because she can play a whole bunch of different things. And we go from there. She sort of adds her part, but it always seems to be that what she adds is really becomes a really important part of it. So we kind of say that we co-write everything, because what she contributes is usually really great and unique. So we've sort of worked out that we sort of share the songwriting credits.
Very diplomatic. There were some extra players on the album.
Yeah.
Were they sort of added on later, or were they there with you at the time of recording?
No, we invited them up. It was a very communal thing. We just wanted to have some friends involved, and they came up. They hadn't rehearsed it or anything, so we had Russell Bradley, who's a drummer of Not Drowning Waving, and Michael Honan, who plays bass with the Killjoys. He came up and played a 5-string gut string double bass. And then we had Craig from the Killjoys came up for a night just to do some trumpet, and then Michael Hepworth, who used to play with Sea Stories, did some bit of organ for us and some mandolin. Yeah.
Right.
So it's all part of it, come up to the country for a day, we'll feed you and give you something to drink, and and you can
bring your
play on
instrument.
our record. Exactly. It was a really nice way to do it, because especially after, a week or so up there, it was good to have some sort of fresh blood come in as well, and just sort of, because we were getting a bit lonely by then.
Yeah. Feeling isolated. Have you seen any of the reviews for the album?
Yeah, there's been some really good ones. Actually, we got a really nice one in Rolling Stone this month.
I did read that. Yeah, that was good.
That was great, and we didn't even know the guy.
So far, we've only seen the good ones, which is good. So either we're being really fortunate and not coming across the bad ones.
I wonder, actually, did you see the one on The Age?
Yeah, there were 2 of them actually. One of them was a little, I don't know, I was a little annoyed at. It didn't seem that the person had really. It was like, to me, it was typical of a reviewer that doesn't have enough time to listen to the record, and so you end up getting lumped in with a whole bunch of other stuff, which is kind of, superficially you can understand them putting us in there, but really, if you'd bothered to listen more than a couple of times, those acts wouldn't even cross your mind when you listen to it. So that gets that is a little annoying.
That was the EG one, yeah. But the Green Guide one was especially nice, I think.
The one that said,
cool.
the one that caught my eye, he said, they sound like really nice people, but I wish they'd get angry or something. Did you see that?
Was the EG
Yeah.
one.
That was just, that kind of made me a little crazy.
Did it make you angry?
Well, the thing is that we actually we've got, with the other thing we did before we actually even did the Sunglass album was we did a single with our new band called Gigantor, which has kind of been put to one side for the moment because we didn't want to sort of confuse people and do everything at once. But Gigantor's actually kind of the heavier guitar stuff. We've got a single coming out on an American indie label called Honey Chain. It's about to come out over there now. So, rather than get hysterical on a Sunglass record, we sort of got hysterical, with a different group, And the point of this album was to sort of just create a whole bunch of moods that work well together and just do that, just make an album full of it. We weren't trying to cover a whole lot of ground, and we were just trying to do one thing really well and and fully, so that, if people feel like listening to the album at a certain time of day, they're going to get a whole album's worth of that sort of mood rather than just snippets of it, which Sea Stories always seem to sort of have. We'd have snippets of this sort of mood and then a few upbeat pop songs, then a few dirgy, minor kind of chordy songs, and we just wanted to do one thing and do it sort of wholly. Yeah, so
I thought there was enough variation within that to sort of keep, keep anybody who was interested in that area of music interested, and so it kind of, again, it was like that thing, if you'd heard it, if it'd been on in the background, and it's like, oh gee, this is all really mellow. Gee, why don't they, ever get excited about anything? But the whole idea was to make it, thematically sort of, similar. Something like Astral Weeks or something. You would never say to like Van Morrison, why couldn't you have gotten a little crazy on that record? Because obviously it's not in that kind of league, but the point is that we just really wanted to sort of create an overall mood for the album.
Yeah.
The other thing too is that, it was sort of a backhanded compliment by sort of saying they seem like nice people. It's almost like it's bad to be a nice person.
Yeah.
To Simon, but I guess we are. Like, what, are we meant to be assholes? We are.
Yeah.
But if that came naturally to us, we probably would, but it would just be superficial for us to try and be anything that we're not. That wasn't what this record was about. It was about being real, not about dressing it up as anything else.
Yeah, I think the poor man missed the point somehow.
Annoying, that one. Yeah, definitely, because we've got a band at the moment and sort of playing around and to promote the album, and the new songs are working. There's some really good new songs, I think, that are working really well, and we really want to record with these people, with the band as sort of more of as a band unit this time. So we'll definitely be doing something as soon as we can, because it's been a year since we recorded, and we're just kind of like really eager to record again.
Others?
Well, what we've been doing is I actually spent 5 months overseas with a band called the Killjoys, and Michael and Dave, who were the rhythm section, when we got back, we decided, because the Killjoys were going to be doing a national tour, we worked it out that Sunglass did the national tour with them, and so Dave and Michael started playing with Sunglass to give us a rhythm section, and that's actually worked out really well. So that's what we've been doing live, and we've been really spoilt to be able to work with them. And even though originally we intended to be able to sort of play shows as a 2-piece or 3-piece or 4-piece and keep it sort of flexible, the fact that it's working so well as a 4-piece, we're kind of going to stick with that for a while until such a time that is
It's good. We've
impractical.
got a double bass, and here Michael plays a double bass live, which is really kind of there's not too many bands around that have that kind of. It's a real luxury to have somebody that can do that. It gives the whole thing a different feel, and the drum kit's sort of like scaled right down, so it's kind
Just
of
a snare and a hi-hat and a tambourine.
the whole thing is to like try and keep it, really kind of low key, but still have the presence of like having a rhythm section, so that it's a bit
Right.
more exciting than just seeing a duo up there.
Fun shows. We did a national tour for the Love and Uncertainty EP, and then we're just doing sort of a few shows around Melbourne, and I think we're going up to Sydney one more time for a weekend, and they're trying to work it out to go back to England in September, but whether or not I go is a bit sort of up in the air at the moment. If it's only a short trip, I'll probably go, but if it's any longer, I sort of want to stay here and keep Sunglass going.
My brother's, he sold his bass. He's not doing anything musically.
Oh.
Yeah, I kind of like dragged him into playing the Sea Stories anyway. It was sort of he'd never played an instrument. He'd never even sort of, I don't think he'd even considered playing an instrument before. So when he just kind of like, well, that's it. That's the end of his bass playing days, I guess. And Nick, the drummer, I think is he's not doing much either. Nobody's really gone on to do anything terribly much musically at all.
I guess I got very jaded with hanging out with us for too long.
Was it a tough time calling it quits? Was
Was
it on the cards, or?
It kind of happened over the space of about 6 months, I think. Just things kind of, just sort of like pressurize you into making that sort of a decision. It's not sort of one day you all have a band meeting and decide, well, I think we should all break up. It's just kind of things just kind of sort of eat away at you, and it was hard, I guess, but in other ways it was like a real relief, because there had been so many other just sort of like really dumb things that had just built up, and little sort of relationships within the band, just really idiotic things that happened to all bands, that it was just like in many ways it was just a relief to call it quits when we did.
And we ended up doing quite a few shows. And we did a residency at a hotel in Fitzroy called the Evelyn, and then we did a last show at the Central Club, and a last show up in Sydney as well at the Annandale Hotel, and all those shows just went really well. And once we announced that we were breaking up, all these people came out of the woodwork and started talking about in the press what a great band we were. And so I was like, yeah, where were you when we needed you to say that?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but it left us with a feeling of, well, we did achieve a lot. We've ended it on a really good note. We haven't sort of dragged it down or kept it going for no good reason. We felt that there wasn't really anything. I mean, the whole way along there was always a goal that we were working towards, and we just got to a point where we weren't really sure where to go next, just through chopping and changing record companies, and just sort of, we spent so much of our career sort of in limbo. So by the time we decided to, we all sort of felt good about it. And then by the last show, it's like, well, all these people coming to our shows, maybe we shouldn't break up. But no, it was kind of a nice way to go out.
Went out on a good note. We might take another Sunglass track and then get you guys to play one more for us. If
Sure.
that's okay. Yep.
Yeah.
And we've got Simon and Penny here from Sunglass,
Yes,
and they're going to do a live one for us.
certainly. We're going to do a song also from the album called Here We Go Again. 1, 2, 3. It's what you've never heard about, and still what you never thought could be so true, and somehow now calling you to wait. No, you've never even read about it. No, there's something someone said about the way she's caught lying to her friends for you. And there's was frozen over, and the silence comes crashing through your head some nights. No, she's never written once before, and her friends all watch you slowly fall apart. It's true, everybody knows the deal, and there's nothing that can ever make you doubt her word, and there's nothing left to do. Here we go again, and there's nothing that can ever make you doubt her word, and there's nothing left to do. Here we go again.
Lovely. Thank you again. Tim Cole sounds like a bit of a production whiz. What's he like to work with, and how does he go about it?
He's a very special person, actually. He's really relaxed and he's eternally optimistic. So that was always good having him on tour when he used to be our live engineer, because no matter what went wrong, or turning up at venues with half PAs not working or whatever, and anything could go wrong, and go, no, it's okay, we'll pull it together.
He works very hard, and he just he does whatever's necessary. He doesn't. I mean, it's no sort of like, oh, I'm not dealing with that. That's not my thing. He'll do, when you're playing live, for example, he'll set all the lights up as well and stuff. He just goes out of his way, and he does whatever needs to be done, and does it for very little money.
Just a really
Good guy.
Yeah, heck of a
really
guy.
sort of relaxed person. He's really easy to work with. He'll listen to what you want, and he'll offer his opinions, but he doesn't sort of bully you, and like he just has this really good understanding of what you're trying to achieve, and he'll make it easier for you to get there. And he's really good for your psyche. I mean, the whole thing of, we wanted to capture performances, and rather than sit there getting really bogged down in technical things and whether the notes were in time enough or in tune enough, it was more like going for the spirit of the performance. And so
And everybody says that now.
yeah, I guess they do, but it was easier to see the difference to us because it was such a stark difference, between working in a studio and doing it like that. And yeah, it was just like a really nice way of working. It was good. Yeah, but only because it suited it. I mean, it wouldn't be worth it if it wasn't going to suit the project to do it that way, because you just wouldn't get the same results, the same amount of money like in a bigger studio and just spent less time or something. Yeah, it was just
Migraine.
Yeah.
We would have
No
found
voices.
Yeah, exactly. We would have found the money from somewhere, but
Yeah, if we'd felt it was necessary to do it differently, we would have found the money, because we've never been one to sort of compromise what we're doing just for the sake of the money. 'Cause,
whatever we've had, we've always put into the recording, or whatever we've had. So
that's why we've always kept jobs, to allow ourselves to do that.
Any significance behind the Sunglass name, or just pluck it out of a hat?
no, Penny thought of it. I'm still not convinced that I don't know whether I still don't know whether I like it.
Oh.
I know. People still say, "What's the name of the band?" I'm like, I just kind of hesitate for a minute. Oh, it's called Sunglass.
You said you liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't make you use it. No, it was the best thing that we thought of, though.
Yeah, that's probably it. It was the best thing that we thought of. It's okay. That's the last time you'll ever refer to us as Sunglasses. Okay?
Yeah, well, I spent, as I said, I was over in England for quite a few months and managed to get pre-release CDs out to a lot of people, and then I went to LA on the way home as well. So we're in a sort of fortunate position, especially in the States, because we have had records out there before with Sea Stories, so, and there are people who remember that. Funnily enough, you come across people who bought both your records and really liked them. You're kind of like, wow, there was someone over here who knew who we were. Yeah, there's people who like the record. It's turning that sort of interest into sort of a physical recording deal that tends to be the tough part, because inevitably you'll get people who are about to leave the label that they're at, or they're at a label who's not signing anyone at the moment, or they're at a label but they haven't got the authority to sign bands or whatever. But it'll happen when it's meant to happen. Just keep getting the records out.
Philosophy on it there.
What Penny was trying, there are some people that were interested over there. No, we haven't got a deal, but yes, we probably will get one, because we'll go over there and hassle them.
Well, it worked last time, didn't it?
We actually just kind of landed on us last time. I think this time we would never be so kind of lucky again. I hate to sort of put it like that, but it was just dumb luck, I think. It was incredible, but this time we're just going to have to... I really feel confident that it'll happen, but we just have to wait for the right person to be at the right company with the right amount of power, because there was a guy that was going to sign Sea Stories who really loves this record and who's at a good label, but just needs to get a couple of hits first so that he can have the power to
sign a pet project. Something like
because we're not going to sell a lot.
Yeah, it's not like you take that to your boss and try and justify, why you should sign it and spend money on it. Because he goes, well, I can't hear a hit single on that, So it's one of those things.
He doesn't exactly sort of sock you between the eyes. It's not that sort of stuff that would immediately, oh yeah, we got to sign these guys,
Yeah.
So it's just going to sort of insinuate its way into somebody's head, I think, who's got the money and the power, and just a sort of slower way.
Yeah.
We'll just keep working on new songs. We're doing quite a few shows over July. We've got a couple of different residencies happening in Melbourne hotels, and a trip to Sydney, and just sort of waiting to see what the Killjoys are doing too, because we're trying to sort of juggle it all.
We're at their mercy pretty well.
I mean, sort of by choice. I mean, obviously if they go back over to England and I go with them, then that means there's 4 weeks of me being able to give my CD to a lot more people as well. So I mean, I'm happy to do that. I like working with them. And at the moment, I mean, I've been lucky that I have been able to juggle it. Neither band's really compromised at the moment. So.
And I think we've also got there's a video we've made for one of the songs, so I think that's going to be hopefully being played on Rage and stuff like that. It was just like done cheaply one evening, just a studio in Melbourne, so that it's visually it doesn't really have much to do with the
it's just one shot. There's no editing or anything. It's just one shot of Simon singing the song.
It's only a short song, so that
it doesn't get too boring.
It doesn't get too tedious. But it's low key, like the album.
Like the album.
Yeah.
Well, finally and most importantly, tell us about the residencies.
We're doing Wednesday nights at a pub called the Public Bar. It's in North Melbourne.
North Melbourne,
yeah. That's every Wednesday night in July. And on Friday nights, we're playing really quite an interesting place. It's the Cherry Tree Hotel. They run a back room out there, and it's sort of, we're playing over dinner from 6 till 9, 3 sets, and it's free to get in, and the food's really good down there. And the Killjoys Acoustic actually did a month of Wednesday nights in June, or Thursday nights or something. But in July, the Killjoys Acoustic are going to be doing every Wednesday night. The Black Eyed Susans Trio are going to be doing every Thursday night, and Sunglass are going to do every Friday night.
Wow.
Excellent.
Yeah, so they're setting it up as just sort of an interesting place for people to go and have a drink, maybe have something to eat, sit and listen to some music. And I think it will suit our music like slightly better than a pub, like a late night at a pub where people go out and drink beer and play pool and pennies and stuff. Because people
You don't have
actually
to.
just sit down.
You have to call out the meal ticket numbers in between.
No, nothing like that. No, we don't have to raffle off the ham or anything. But it just means that people will sort of, they can sit there and it'll be sort of half a performance but half background music. So people don't have to feel like they have to sit there and give us their full attention, but they can drift in and out of the set. Because we're quite draining, I think, to sit. To get a lot out of
There's a lot of miserable songs, so
it takes
it can be
concentration.
kind of an ordeal sitting through sitting through a set of miserable songs.
Oh, we got some up songs.
Well, unfortunately, we work on Wednesdays as well, but I might wander down there on a Friday night and
Great.
tuck into my veal parmigiana while I listen to you guys.
What more could you want out of life?
Sure,
Exactly.
they've got a veal parmigiana on the menu, I'm sure. Everybody has one of them.
Terrific. Okay, well, thanks a lot. Thanks for coming down.
John and Kim. Good.
Thanks, guys.
Great to see you again after all this time. You're our very first inaugural guest when we started 3 years ago, so it's
I
good to
did
see
not
you
know
again.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Okay, thanks a lot, Simon and Penny.
Okay, thanks.